So Slush was started in 2008, and it was started by a group of entrepreneurs in Finland, and myself and the others were students at the time, not involved at all, and it ran itself by a couple of years as a small few hundred people event, and it was one key figure behind this is Peter Westerbacka. So 2008, 9, 10, he was organizing Slush, a few hundred people in Finland, and then he went on to found Angry Birds, Rovio. It became a huge success at the time. Now they're also having a little downfall. They just fired 260 people today. But his vision was, okay, look, I shouldn't be the one who's running this conference, and so he went to a university in Finland, in Helsinki, and gave this lecture and talked with the students and said, well, if you want to continue doing entrepreneurship and care about this technology, startups and apps and so on, then perhaps you should be the ones who run this event. And this is what happened. So Miki Kuusi, Atte Huanen, these were the two guys who put the team together, and the transition moved from Peter, from the original founder, to them. They put the team together. They invited myself there as well. And there it went. So 2012, 13, I think, were the breakthrough years, where it reached to 2013, it was like 3,000 people. 2014, it was 7,000 people, and last year it was 14,000 people. And it went to the world stage, and it really became a huge deal. I mean, there were hundreds and hundreds of journalists and writing about Finland and Nordics. Every little success that happened got tons of media presence, and then initially where Europe had little funding and Nordics had little funding for startups, this was a place that drew so many tens and eventually hundreds of investors wanting to understand what is going on in Nordics. Who are these people who are founding these companies, and why are they succeeding? So, few hundred VC funds, more than 500 journalists, eventually presidents and ministers and big-time billion-dollar founders and billionaires, they all fly there. What is going on here? The very, very important thing that is happening during those few days is matchmaking. So startups and early companies or growth companies on one side and investors on the other side. We have built this platform where they can reach out to each other and just have a one-on-one meetings. Very, very simple. And what the goal or the outcome of these meetings is funding raised or partnerships made. We did this little test after 2013 event, we measured 6 months of the matches. So between the investors and startups, what was the result? And we counted $150 million was raised because of these meetings. So clearly there's some good benefits of going to these kind of events and meeting people, because opportunities are all behind people. So you meet somebody and there it goes. So we're thinking, I'm not actually thinking, we're doing it right here, right now in Taiwan. So there's a team of 9 people all together now here in Taipei that are working on this event, MOSA, and it's happening in October 6 and 7. There's some very interesting speakers already confirmed that are coming here to share from internationally and also from here, from the private sector, but also from the public sector. So, for example, the new mayor of Taipei, he's coming over to share his view of how how Taiwan or Taipei city should become a startup city and really help the entrepreneurs to succeed. Then there's also the premiere. Well, it's the last year for the ruling party here, so interesting times ahead for sure. What's going to happen next year? Maybe we already know what, but anyway. The premier, we met with him as well and explained the purpose of this event and the reason why this isn't a government event. And the same reason is that, with all respects, you government people, but you come and go. But this needs to be here for longer. So, but you're all welcome. So, President, you're welcome to have a dinner and have dinner with the international VIPs coming here. We're suggesting some of the speakers to open offices here in Taiwan. So one that I can mention now is Yandex. It's the 5th largest search engine in the world, a multi-billion-dollar company. And we spoke with the founder and invited them here. And they're sending a vice president here to see what's going on in Taiwan. And then we're explaining to the government side, hey, what if we help them to open an office here? I think we can. And that's one example. There's another one in Australia. There's a national research called CSIRO. CSIRO. They have 6,000 researchers. Oh, by the way, they invented Wi-Fi. They actually invented Wi-Fi, and they hold the rights on every device that connects today in Wi-Fi. They cash in on royalties. They have invented so many cool things. The what do you call these contact lenses? Anybody wears a lens here? Contact lens. So they invited that too. So Australia, the Syra, they're crazy guys, and but also they're having a little downfall right now. The government there in Australia is cutting the funds on research. Well, I don't understand what the Prime Minister of Australia is doing, but he is an interesting guy. He has been cutting hundreds and hundreds of millions from research, saying, well, why do we need this? And I don't understand all the details, but it looks something weird is going on there. So anyway, we're inviting CSIRO here to Taiwan because obviously Taiwan has great research and Australia has great research. But there's one common thing for both of these countries. Australia is looking very much to US. Taiwan as well. I mean, apart from, if there's one international community where Taiwan looks, it's US. I mean, there's, good relation, good business going on between China and so on, but and Japan and so. But if it's about, let's talk with the Western world, it's US. But there's not much happening between Taiwan and Australia. Taiwan and Australia, in my opinion, could have way more collaboration, and we're inviting Syro to open an office here. And we spoke with the Australian trade agency here in Taipei, and they're welcoming this like, oh wow, this is what we would like to do as well. If now we have an organization or a group of people who know how to attract the other side to come here, then absolutely we want to help you. So these are two examples that are going on right now. We are inviting also foreign investment funds here. For example, Rakuten is a big e-commerce company in Japan. I don't know, tens and tens of billions worth. And Rakuten has been investing heavily to startups, internet companies, e-commerce. They invested recently, I think, more than $500 million to Lyft, which is kind of like Uber, but not Uber. So they have a fund that is very active, and and their head of ventures is coming to this event to seek or find Taiwanese startups. So these are a few examples of how this organization works, and being international appealing, having this organization reaching out to the world, going to New Zealand and US and Europe and Russia or Japan, everywhere, because Taiwan has a deficit. Taiwan as a small nation has a deficit and needs to reach out. And again, to prove the previous point, Australia also has a deficit that they need to reach out. And having two deficits combined is a great impact. Now, if you are in a deficit and you're reaching out to, let's say, communities that have no deficit, let's say US, then there is a different level of who needs who more. And just the fact that Taiwan and Australia are so close, just some hours away, then why not?